right, we are back with another interview. I know everybody loves these. We're starting to come back a little quicker with them all. And today I have Seth here from Connected Community Health Support. How are you doing today, Seth?
I am absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much again, Kevin, for setting this all up, and I'm really looking forward to this little interview. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. This is a little bit different. It's not the normal YouTuber who does tech and gaming and reviews, but it's still within the world of streaming. And I thought this was kind of unique, and I wanted to take a good session here to kind of dive into what you guys are doing over there because I stumbled across you guys on Twitch, and what you guys are doing is pretty unique. It's a workout channel kind of type of deal. I don't know. Me explaining it is just terrible. So how about I turn over to you, and why don't you tell me about the Connected Community Health Support and what you guys are up to over there?
Yeah. So, hello everyone. My name is Seth Spicer. I'm a co-founder with Jacob Carroll and Adam Fox of Connected Community Health Support. The part that Kevin is seeing and what we're probably putting the most energy into right now is the live stream, and we stream a free aerobic body weight exercise program. We're now up to 5 days a week, and we do that live. So the whole purpose of Connected Community Health Support, CCHS is what we call it, is to make health and fitness more practical and more accessible. A lot of people don't have the time to go to the gym. A lot of people don't have the money to go to the gym. A lot of people don't feel comfortable going to the gym. There's a whole bunch of things other than just the stigma of being lazy, right? That prevent people from getting out and actually exercising. So what we're trying to do with the stream, with the exercise stream, is make health and fitness more accessible. Make it really easy to wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, turn on the stream, and say, now I can go through and do a quick 30-minute session with the
Yeah,
Connected Community
and
Health Support
it
crew.
works.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So I randomly stumbled on you guys through Twitch, and it was I somehow recommended it to me. So I don't know if YouTube's or Twitch is starting to notice I'm sitting a little bit too much because I'm working from home, but uh, I turned you guys on and started just following along. I can't do everything because I'm in between meetings and stuff during the timing, but it's like I see you guys getting up, moving arms, and I'm doing lunges and stuff. So it
Mm.
gets me moving, which is pretty important with my new lifestyle of working from home and trying to deal with not having to go to the office every day where I'm getting steps in usually. So just me alone admitting like this is great. I really enjoy it, and it really brought me to want to pull you guys into here to connect you to us with Link Cable because you know maybe not everybody at Link Cable listening or watching or reading our articles is working from home, but we're gamers and we love to sit. So any type of exercise, and we don't like to leave the house too often, the us gamers. So this is perfect. So do you guys do this as your day job? Is this 100% what you're focused on? Or are you kind of doing this on the side as of right now?
So we spent the summer kind of getting this up to speed and getting all of our systems in place. But my full-time job is as an athletic trainer and strength and conditioning coach. So
Okay.
that's what I went to school for and all that jazz. And this is something that we're trying to push along and has now turned into more of a long-term project as well. Ultimately, I'd like to try and get into med school, but that's aside from all that. So it's more of a passion project at this point for us three. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can definitely see the passion put in and the efforts that I see on the streams every day I'm tuning in. So good job there.
Thank you. Thank you. We're definitely trying to help some people live healthy lifestyles. So
And it's working.
hopefully,
I see other people in the chat too that'll pop in and out, and some people are pretty familiar faces that I've seen come in, talking and asking questions. And it's also nice because it's not only like you're doing a workout by yourself at the gym and you got your headphones on and you're kind of focused on your own thing. Like this, it turns into a bit of a community thing where you have other people, and you can't see each other, which sometimes is for the best, but you can still converse with you and kind of joke around, and everybody has a good time. So it's very welcoming, the community you guys have built so far, and I appreciate that.
and you hit something there too. I mean, we're trying really hard to create a community because you know having people to support you is one of the key pillars of the things that we talk about, having that family or just connections. But also a lot of times it's scary to walk into even like a Planet Fitness, for example,
Hmm.
or maybe you don't have any welcoming environment around. So being
For
able to
sure.
hop into a space where if you want the opportunity to be anonymous so that nobody knows you're doing an aerobic exercise program for some reason,
Right.
um, like mental health friendly, if that makes sense, in that
Yeah,
kind of
and
aspect.
I think the mental health is a lot bigger part of this than I think we're even hitting on. That you know, working out is mental, like it's a big part of it. And So me personally, like going to the gym and trying to do exercises, it is really difficult for me, and it's just I feel like everyone's staring at me, and I'm not really talking to these people, but they're all around me looking at me working out. Whereas a couple of
Yeah.
years ago, I did CrossFit, and I was in a group classes where you knew everybody and you were talking to everybody, and it made you feel like it was okay to go ahead and do this because we're all doing it, we're all in this together in that community. So watching these
Yeah.
streams with people where we're all kind of doing the same thing, even though we're not face to face, it still brings back a lot of that same feel of community, which I really enjoy. And the same part of
Yeah.
mental, like I was saying, is you guys have a quote that you guys talk about. I think it's at every week that you guys have a quote.
Mhm.
Yep. And I it the first time he did it, I was like, okay, that's silly. But then I kind of kept watching, and I was like, I actually like I can't remember what the quote was a couple weeks ago, and I was like, that really speaks to me. And I thought about it for quite a while after you guys talked about it. So it was pretty meaningful, and I think that's something that you guys don't advertise so much as this being mental right off the bat, but if you get in there to the watch, and this is anybody listening to this, get in there, listen to them, and it is like a very uplifting mental type of exercise. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I like it.
So really
um
quick, I'll
yeah, yeah, for sure.
feedback. So a lot of people think that health and fitness and lifestyle health is primarily about exercise, right? But I like that you really emphasize the mental portion of it too, because we break it down to 7 different pillars, the actual behavioral change that we try and institute. And I'll keep this brief, but it's fitness, surprise,
Hmm.
as well as nutrition, also shocker, and then sleep plays a huge role into your mindset. It can be recovery, that can be depression prevention, that can be your cognitive ability, right? Sleep is a big factor. I call those the core three, and
Hmm.
then there's the accessories. It's the mindset, which is executive functioning skills, psychology, things like that, scheduling, planning. So that is mindset. There is social, environmental, the people you keep around you, right? The environments, both virtual and physical, that you find yourself in, as well as personal finance. Obviously, that's going to affect what you can afford to spend money on in terms of your own personal health. And then lastly is policy change is the other one. So we really do take this from a comprehensive approach that I think a lot of people overlook the other ones. So I'm really glad you brought up mindset there too, and I just wanted to touch on the other ones as
Yeah,
well.
and I think it's important to mention that, especially during the world of pandemic we've been through over the last year and a half or so. Like a lot of those
Yeah,
types of pillars in people's lives have changed a lot. Maybe we're all sleeping more because we're at home more often, but finances are different because we've switched jobs, or jobs have changed and pay is different, or any amount
yeah,
of that. Nutrition is food is hard to find in certain areas right now because of the way the world is. So it's a
yeah.
very it's very important to focus on a lot of those things and pay attention to it. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing for that. It's really cool.
Thank you
Um,
very much.
so sticking with this with exercise, I know that it is important to stay active, and that's like it is the main point of anything. And you go on Twitch and you see people doing workouts and stuff. You don't have to be a ridiculous bodybuilder like Twitch tries to show me every time, make you feel like you can't do anything. You got to just get moving. So for you,
Yeah.
how important is it to stay active each day? And like, what would you say is recommended for you? How much should you exercise a day for, let's say, a day, a week, or what is your recommendation?
Yeah, so I'll approach this from two angles. There's federal guidelines, and then there's, practical slash realistic. Um, from the federal guidelines, they recommend what is it? I think it's like 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, or something like that.
Hmm.
If you can hit 30 minutes a day, you're doing very well, right? If you can hit 60 minutes a day, that in the research shows that you are doing enough exercise to where you'll be able to lose weight, if that is your goal, your health goal,
Hmm.
without dietary intervention, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, because personally, I have no self-control in the kitchen. So if you go out there and you tell me that if I, am able to go for a walk, go for a canoe, a bike ride, a row, anything like that for 60 minutes a day and I can still lose weight, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, aside from, heart disease and atherosclerosis and all the stuff that comes from eating junk food, so obviously stay away from that. But so as a whole, I'd say try your best to exercise 30 minutes a day. A lot of people think of being a bodybuilder. They have these unreasonable expectations. They're
Hmm.
saying, if I'm going to exercise, I'm going to look like The Rock, and it's going to take me 6 hours a day, and that's not reasonable. So why would I ever begin?
Right.
And we want that to be so far from the truth, because even when we first started and we were doing this stream three times a week for 30 minutes, and it was like 20 seconds of work to 40 seconds of rest, it felt like almost nothing. But within the first couple of weeks, my shoulder pain went away. I was already feeling better about myself. I was in a routine. And that is the whole purpose of, I guess, starting from something so small. small, where it was a relatively insignificant amount of exercise,
Hmm.
but having that habit is to continue with that habit to the point where you get up to 150 minutes of exercise per week. That is the important part. So a bit of a long-winded answer, but I'd say if you can hit 30 minutes every single day, you should be really proud of yourself. And that's not going to make you look like a bodybuilder. You don't need to be chiseled, but it's going to keep you healthy, right? It's something really quick just to finish that thought. If you exercise that much, like 30 minutes a day, I think it reduces your all-cause mortality by 40%. And a lot of people don't have the motivation to, go get a rockin' six pack. I think a lot of us have the motivation to, be able to play with our grandkids or be able to enjoy, the activities of the outdoors or, things like that. So it's one of those things where in the short term you might be all right, but it's one of those things that in the long term it can really catch up to you. So yeah, 30 minutes a day is ideal for sure.
Okay, nice. It's pretty reasonable. It doesn't sound too hard to try to reach 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So let's say someone who does work at home, more big gamer, and you're a full time game streamer, a Fortnite, and you don't have a lot of outdoor time. What type of indoor activities or indoor exercises would you recommend to somebody for those
Ooh,
30 minutes?
whatever.
Let's say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever you enjoy the most.
Okay.
So with our stream, we try and target. It's completely indoors, requires no equipment. We've made it so that it hits your entire body. Um, but ultimately, exercise is about doing the thing that you're going to continue to do most. So if you are inside and you have no equipment, and the thing that you really love to do is just a normal squat, a body weight squat. Well, if you only do a body weight squat for 30 minutes a day, sets throughout 30 minutes, that's a pretty big exercise. Like you're going to burn some significant calories if you do that 3 times per week for
Hmm.
30 minutes, It might not be everything that your body needs, but it's a hell of a lot better than doing nothing, right? And
Right.
that can really, really, offset a lot of the things right there. And then another thing, especially if you're inside, I was all through the pandemic. I was going to school at the same time, so I was doing a lot of this,
Yeah.
anything that fixes your posture. Stretching out the lower body, doing some arm raises to pull your shoulders back so you don't get shoulder impingements and things of that nature. Low back pain as well, so you might want to get some glute bridges in there, stretch out your quads a little bit. But yeah, whatever feels best for you. And if you ever just want to pull the cop out answer, check out our stream from day one, and you can
Perfect.
do that all indoors too. So
That's good. So
yeah.
with all the different workouts, and I know you guys keep it pretty varied through the streams that I've seen. What are your personal favorite workouts? What do you like to do?
Ooh, I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. All right.
Okay, sure, you go
So
first.
my personal background is in football and track and field. So I prefer strength exercises, power exercises, complex movements. I like to go get into a gym. I also have dumbbells at home that I like to use. I love to hit the track and do a sprint workout. So for me, it's all over the place. I just like intensity. Um, might be because I'm an extrovert and just love that kind of stuff. But so if I had to pick one that I could do for the remainder of my life, I'd probably like to be able to just sprint. If
Okay.
I had to pick one weightlifting exercise, single leg deadlift all day.
Oh wow.
What do you have for me though?
So little different background. I have a huge nerd growing up, so I wasn't the most athletic, but decently in shape, just from being young and healthy and lucky. But as I got older, I started to get into. I did CrossFit for about 4 or 5 years and got really
Oh,
into like squatting. I really enjoyed back squatting and front squatting, and I just have bigger legs but little arms. So I always make fun of my little SpongeBob arms. But I feel like I could deadlift or squat quite a bit, but my benching was never great. But those are my favorite types of exercises. For a more active, I play hockey, so I love ice skating. So
wow.
just skating out there, getting wet with friends, and doing whatever is, it will get you sweating. I'm telling you, but it's a lot of fun, and it's all legs moving around skating, so I love it
Yeah,
because I feel like that's the part of me that's pretty well trained. So that's my
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
exercises.
I appreciate that. That's a solid combination. Squatting and hockey. Yeah, that'll keep you fit.
It gets. I
Absolutely.
only learned how to. I honestly ice skate only a few years ago. So for me to even as an adult learn how to ice skate probably about 4 or 5 years ago now is wasn't the easiest thing to do. But as soon as I got it, I just couldn't stop. So that like you said, we find the exercises you like to do, and I was addicted to it. I loved going. I would literally go to the open skates and put my headphones on and skate around by myself, and I had a great time. So
You know, that's just, I want to piggyback off that really quick. That is so great because that's your thing, right? That's the thing that you love. And every time I talk to somebody, they usually have a thing like that where they can do it, like kayaking for a lot of people. It's like, oh,
mhm.
I want to get out, go kayak. And that is such a great exercise.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's not even exercise, it's just being active, being able to enjoy and move and love your body and enjoy your time doing so. So it's like,
right.
you know, if you're not going to work out, just get outside and be active and find your thing. And I think that's something powerful. So yeah,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
I'll throw that around really quick.
Moving on a little bit to the nutrition side. I know you guys have talked about it here and there through the streams during the workouts and stuff. You've talked about definitely hydrating yourself being a big part of it. You're always saying, get your water, drink your water. You got your mug sometimes and you're drinking it. So I know that that's a huge part of it. And I've done way better about trying to hydrate myself. Just hearing you have a reminder, and I got myself a big water bottle, which I usually carry around, and I have that throughout the day. And then I know on your guys' YouTube channel, I've checked out that you've got some nutrition stuff for, you know, cheap meals you can make that are easy to make and quick. And I've followed through some of those. And granted, I haven't made any of them yet. I do plan to. And I keep telling my wife that we're going to start making some better choices because we've, it's like the beginning of the year, we start good and then it just slowly slopes down as you get further through the year. And
Busier.
it
Yeah.
just sucks. It sucks. But I do appreciate you guys putting the resources out there to show, hey, you know, you can still eat good, eat healthy, and not spend a ton of money or waste a lot of time. So, what other stuff for nutrition do you guys have to offer, and what do you see yourselves doing going further with that in the future?
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. I'll do my
Yeah,
best
no,
here.
sorry, I just loaded that question up for you.
I think I should be able to get it though. The thing that you referenced about the 35 recipes, we have five vegetarian, five vegan, and 25 other recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you can use to meal prep. When we went through and did this research, it took us a long time, so I hope you guys actually check them out and view them. We were looking for something that's healthy, right, which is micronutrient dense, vitamin mineral dense, and macronutrient healthy as well, which means, you know, probably higher protein, pretty balanced amount of carbs and fats in that regard. And then, of course, complex, not simple sugar type stuff, stuff that's a little more starchy, a little more fibrous, that's a little, you know, actually harder for your body to digest, which is it's good for you, right? So all these things are low calorie, high protein, but also delicious and also super easy to make because, frankly, I'm an impatient person myself. I don't have a ton of time because I am also a very busy person. So I said, I need something that I can go to the gym, I can lift, and I can come home and I'll feel good eating this. I want to have enough protein. I'm trying to get lean, trying to lose weight. I want to make sure that it's not too calorie dense.
Hmm.
If I'm working my 50 hours a week with three side hustles, I want to make sure that I can get it done on a Sunday in 15 minutes for the week.
Right.
And then, of course, we all like to enjoy our food. So those are all up there, and you can get those. It is published on our blog. You can find it on our Facebook as well. And we just started making a series where you can actually go through and meal prep these things with someone. So that was the one YouTube video that we made so far on our nutrition series, where my friend Josh Matthews from Whisk Management, he's in finance, Whisk Management, he whisks, you know,
That's pretty
whisks.
cool.
Anyway, so he came on and led us through our little meal prep there. So, in that regard, that takes care of that. But what I'd recommend for gamers, the fun question, right? Again, what's ideal versus what are we actually going to do, right? Ideal is you have water and vegetables. What I really love,
That's a tough sell
what
for some gamers, I'll tell you that. Hey guys, you ready to play Halo? I got my carrot sticks and water.
yeah, it's awful, awful. I would never do that myself, so I wouldn't tell anybody to do that either because of that. But I do love a crunch. I'm a crunchy kind of guy, and I think a lot of you people out there are as well. And I am also a ranch guy, and I don't hate dressings. I don't tell people not to eat dressings, even if they're calorie dense sometimes, because the micronutrients and the fiber that you're going to get from the cauliflower, from the broccoli, from the carrots, from the bell peppers that you're cutting up, all great choices with ranch, by the way, or with, you know, caramel hummus. I don't know if you guys have Wegmans where you're from. Oh my God. But if you dip something that's a vegetable like that in ranch, you're still getting the good stuff, and it's
Mhm.
not going to be the end of the world. If you don't like ranch or blue cheese or something like that, hummus is great too. There's a lot of different options that you might not think you're going to love off the start, but then you get a couple crunches in, and you're like, oh, well, this is actually is not bad. Then
Yeah.
for Mountain Dew, um, I'm still conflicted on this, but I just saw this Healthline article that was talking about artificial sweeteners. And it basically said, TLDR, they're not as bad for you as the research says. Um, Basically, what it's saying is that there's bad research out there that's trying to say, it's going to give you cancer, it's terrible for you,
Yeah.
right? And at the end of the day, most of us are dying from chronic heart disease, stroke, lifestyle factors from a surplus of calories, right? So I think that severely outweighs, the unshown effects of eating more sucralose or whatever. So, diet Mountain Dew is the long answer short to that
Yep.
one.
So
Yeah.
one thing that I'll tell you what I'm drinking. You can tell me if this is a good or bad thing. But I was on pop or soda wherever you're from. What you say here, we're pop people here in Michigan, so that's what we say. But trying to get off of that and diet soda in general, I switched to iced tea, which I've always really liked unsweetened iced tea. Actually, don't like sweetened iced tea, which is actually just a blessing, so I don't have to worry about the extra sugar. But I've been buying these. I think they're just called pure lemon or pure lime, and it's just like dehydrated lemon. And I just pour it into like a bottle of iced tea, and it is so good. And the lemon is just very tart already, and it's very sweet because it's
Yeah.
just natural, and it's really good. And there's no calories in it. And it's just having like a lemon that was dehydrated and put into little particles to put into a unsweetened iced tea. So I'm trying to. I've really changed. I
That's
love drinking that. It's a little bit of caffeine in the tea, a little bit. Kind of makes me feel like I'm waking
yeah.
up, and so that's
Everybody
me.
that's listening, that's ideal. That's the ideal that I wasn't aware of right there. Do
It's pretty good.
that.
They have like a ton of flavors too, which is fun. So there's like they have a pure grapefruit, pure lime, pure lemon, pure orange. So I kind of mix it up. You never know what little flavor you're gonna get, but that's like the one thing I feel like I'm doing really well health wise is drinking at least. I won't tell you everything else I eat for breakfast, the bagel loaded with cream cheese, but other than that, I'm doing okay liquid wise. So, um,
Yeah, that is really important too. I mean, dehydration, even 1 to 2%, you can start to see performance, like physical performance
mhm.
detriments, especially for gamers, cognitive detriments. You move slower, your reaction time slows if you're dehydrated, even by 1 to 2% of your body weight. So it can make a pretty big difference. Sometimes you feel more hungry when you don't have enough water in your system. So if you're really a competitive gamer and you're trying to up your performance just by a little bit, you're going to be a little more or a little more focused, a little less cloudy if you stay hydrated out there. So
There you go. Pro tip. Heard it here first, guys.
from a
um,
professional gamer.
exactly. So with Link Cable Gaming, we have a website for articles that we talk about game reviews and news and opinions, et cetera, et cetera. And we also have a podcast that we do every weekday, usually Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Guys should tune into that. And podcasting has been a big part of my life from doing this show, and I've done other shows in the past, but I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to stuff basically in any genre, from video gaming to tech to home repair to history, um, going to health, or even podcasts in general for you. What kind of podcasts do you recommend others for health, and then what do you listen to personally?
Yeah. So I listened to Peter Attia's The Drive. That can become a little more technical. He's a medical doctor that really likes to go into his details. In something kind of adjacent, there's a sports performance podcast called the Just Fly Sports Performance Podcast with Joel Smith. Love that one. Anybody that's in strength and conditioning performance, check that out. And then the two other ones that I listen to that I really love are uh, The Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. Armchair Experts, I think it's called. And then the last one is probably my favorite that I've listened to the most. And that's the Tim Ferriss Show with Tim Ferriss. A
Nice.
lot of it is self-improvement type stuff, experts talking about how they got so good at what they do and stuff like that. So yeah, there's my big four.
Cool, cool. All right, so tying this back to gaming, have you played any video
Yeah.
games yourself, or do you game at all? And like, tell me your history. What are you playing? What's going on in the gaming world over there for Seth?
Yeah. So catch me on original Call of Duty Black Ops. Grew up on that. Was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I could throw down some Call of Duty Black Ops. Madden, talk a lot of trash. I'm awful. The most recent thing that I've gotten into was The Last of Us 1 and 2. If you haven't played that game, it was like reading a really good book.
Oh
The
yeah.
plot, the context to that was unbelievable. It made you feel things, and it was just a good, like, well playable game. But man, that was a good storyline. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's one of the better games made in the last 10 years or so. The second one, even the first one, I think people might argue the same, but definitely agree with
Yeah.
you there. I have not actually finished Last of Us 2, and that is kind of a. I got like 3 or 4 hours in, and anyone who listens to our podcast knows as soon as something new and shiny comes out, I kind of freak out and I have to go play that right away. So it kind of happened with Last of Us 2 last year, and I never went back to finish it. So I'm definitely gonna have to go back and finish the end of that to see how the story ends because it started getting pretty good before I pieced out for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd
Cool.
recommend that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
So would you say that's your favorite game then, Last of Us 2? I just have a little note for favorite game, but it sounds like Last of Us 2 might be it.
One or two. I just have to say The Last of Us in general. In fact, I think my girlfriend and I are going to go through and make a habit of playing that over again every winter.
It's a good game. I actually got my mom to she couldn't play it because it's a little bit too much, and we didn't have time for me to sit down and play the whole thing in front of her. So I put on the video on YouTube of just all the cutscenes from the first game, and she loved it. Like she was so into it, and then like some parts would skip, and there'd be stuff in between, and she'd be like, "What happened? What happened?" I was like, "Well, I play as these guys, and we go through here and do this." She's like, "Okay," and then we'd hit play, and it's pretty long. I want to say it's several hours or over an hour and a half, something like that. And she was just like
Oh yeah.
so enthralled by the whole thing, even though she wasn't playing the game. So it definitely is a good story, and I know they're making it into a TV series, so I'm pretty excited about that.
I
Yeah,
did not know
they've
that.
got it casted, and I think they're already shooting it now. So I'm pretty excited for that.
That's gonna be good.
It will
Yeah.
be. I hope. There's
What's your
been some
go-to?
weird adaptations to TV shows and movies from games, so we'll see what happens.
That's true. What's
Anyways,
your go-to game?
oh, my go-to game? Oh, that's you're asking the wrong person. I play everything. Right now, my go-to game is I can't even think. Like I've been playing so much lately. Um, I've been playing a game called Persona 5, which is it's a very if you're not a gamer, it's a game you probably never heard of. It's a JRPG and it's like a turn-based old school type game and it is long. I've got like 140 hours into it and I'm still got quite a while left. So it's a game I just
Holy
play every once in a while and I just kind of keep adding on to it little by little. It's
wow.
kind of my go-to, I guess, because I kind of beaten little stuff as it comes out. We'll get review copies, and I have to try to play through those and get the review out. So it's kind of random. It's kind of random when I'm playing. I did actually just get Modern Warfare Cold War. I just got it, even though it's a year old. So I'm probably gonna play that because I usually play it every year, and I don't know what happened last year. I missed it, so I got to try to play catch up before Vanguard comes out in a couple weeks. So we'll
I think
see.
it's gonna be a fun ride. That'll be a fun ride.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
all those
Um,
first.
all right, so to conclude here, where can we find you? What are some timings? Just throw out all the information you got. Tell us where your social, what's going on. Tell us about you and Connected Community Health System.
Yeah. So the best place you can find myself and all of the other members of Connected Community Health Support is at connectedchs.com. So connectedchs.com. On there, we have our blogs for all of our different pillars. There you can find our videos on the top right tab as well, and that takes you from day one all the way through current. And you can follow along at first with myself, Jake, or Adam, whoever you like best. And then from there, it kind of molds together into one program. We have different quizzes on there you can check out. We have a couple products that are not trying that aren't overpriced, right? They're just products that are trying to make your lifestyle healthier and easier. And then we have services that's like virtual personal training that's again stupid cheap. It's regrettably cheap for us. So really everything that Connected Community Health Support does is on connectedchs.com. So from there, you'll be able to find our link to all of our different social medias. We're on pretty much every social media you can think of with Connected CHS. So we kind of keep that as the main theme. And then you can check out our Facebook page at just Connected Community Health Support. And that is where you can find all of that, all of our information. You can reach out to us there as well if you like. Seth.Spicer at connectedchs.com. And then all of our information should be on the website as well. So we'd love to hear any questions. It can be health related, fitness, you name it. If you have a goal, if you want to hop on our schedule for personal training, reach out to us, please, please, please. We're more than happy to help create a stigma free change and start to overcome, well, basically what is the involuntary obesity epidemic when, I think it's 90 million Americans are actively overweight, severely overweight, and trying to make a lifestyle change. That's a lot of people. That's
That is a
one
lot of people.
4 out of 10 of us, in America are trying to make the change but can't overcome the conditions that we're currently living in. That's significant, and it's only going to start with people really trying to make that change. And if you're in that, if you're in that position, feel free to reach out to us, and we won't give up on you. We'll try and make that change with you, especially if you're a gamer.
Exactly.
So that's
Well,
everything I got for you.
thank you so much, Seth. We appreciate you coming out here, and appreciate everything you and the rest of the guys are doing at Connected Community Health Support right now. It's a lot of work, and I know sometimes it might feel like it's unappreciated, but here's one guy that watches your stream that really appreciates everything you guys are doing, and it does mean a lot. So I'm sure people appreciate it, even if they're not saying it. I will put down all the information that we talked about for how to contact you guys, set up the personal training stuff you guys offer, the purchasing, and all these other things you guys on your website down in the description below. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to Seth, and then anything Link Cable Gaming related, reach out to me. Thank you guys for listening. You have a great day. Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you.
See ya.